All right, June TBR time. I was pretty productive in May. We'll see the results of that when I do my seasonal wrap up at the end of, not the month, next week. My brain is still recovering from being on vacation, so I'm still not very focused. I was too relaxed. But I put together a TBR, both to finish Herked and do some other obligations, and then to just pick things that I kind of wanted to pick. So let's start with I need to read Tusk Love, which I've started. And I don't like love. I don't know. The writing is very not my thing, I guess. I don't know. So this is, I know, based in the Critical Role world, which is obviously very inspired by Dungeons and Dragons world building. And we have this privileged person who gets robbed by bandits, who's saved by this half-orc, and she has a hidden secret, and it's a Grump Sunshine dynamic while he helps her get back, and she's very fish out of water and way too innocent to live, and it's just like, fine. I feel like it just doesn't have the sauce, but I need that for my adaptation square. Similarly, for my adaptation square, I need to read some Buffy. I have 2 Buffy graphic novels that I was given a long time ago. And honestly, Buffy's been on my brain lately. Sometimes what makes me want to watch TV is whatever Instagram is showing me a lot of, and I've been seeing a lot of Buffy lately. This is kind of a retelling, I feel, of the show, because it's more modern. I think there are like cell phones and everything like that. So yeah, I've read the first chapter of this, so I for sure just want to get these done. So these are my graphic novel adaptations of the TV show. So that does that square. And then my last book for my TBR spin book. So every month, freshly read books, spins a wheel, and then we pick a book. And this month it was Books Set Furthest From You. And oddly enough, I only had 1 fantasy book. And we got to choose if we counted fantasy or not. And I looked, the fantasy book I have is kind of set Massachusetts, Chicago, Pittsburgh area. And then I have the Andromeda Strain, which is my next book furthest away, which is in Arizona. All my other books were kind of close in comparison. Because I had another fantasy book that was based off the Caribbean, but the Caribbean is closer to me than Arizona, I believe. So I think I'll be reading Andromeda Strain, which is a big deal because this has been on my Goodreads TBR since I made a Goodreads TBR. So it's like truly one of the longest books on my TBR ever. I actually bought this last year, so I would just have it. Wow, that's some thick font. So I know this is about a contagion. Contagion stories are typically fast-paced. I have read Jurassic Park by this author, and I have liked it. So cautiously interested in this book. We'll see. And honestly, so today, when you're seeing this video, I think we're getting the announcement for Herked Part 3. And I might change this out to the other book, because it's still a fantasy book, and so it still is technically further away, because it's fantasy. It just depends on which of these books would work better at Herked 3 or not. But this is tentatively what I'm leaning towards. And then I need a book that is either set in or written by an Australian author, and so that is The Red Winter, which is what I'm currently reading. I got this at the indie bookstore crawl, and it's kind of like, I think, dark fairy tale fantasy with kind of a fun, whimsical voice with footnotes. And honestly, a lot of those are my buzzwords. So this really wasn't on my radar because this cover doesn't do anything for me. And it's sprayed edges, which doesn't do anything for me. But I've read the first 3 chapters, and I'm tentatively interested. It takes place 1700s France. Our main character is part of the supernatural. So it kind of feels currently like paranormal fantasy, but historical so far. So that's like kind of interesting. So this is actually like my current physical read right now, this and Tusk Love. And then my last book for Herked is the new release for June, and that's going to be Sublimation, which I do think came out earlier this week. So I have read the first 17 pages, and I'm excited to get back to this one. So those are all the books, and I guess I've talked about Sublimation, but if you wanted to know, it's when you leave a country with no intent to return, it leaves behind an instance of you. So now there's 2 of you living 2 different lives, and you can come together again, and I think that's called Sublimation. And this has apparently got some espionage stuff going on, and I have no idea how that plays into it so far. I'm just reading it because I loved the short story that kind of inspired the world building. And so for my other things, I put 4 other things on my list because that felt manageable. Because, I don't know, this month's going to be kind of hectic because of teaching and things like that. And I've just been lower energy lately. So trying to meet myself where I am at. So one is an audiobook I will definitely be reading for my local book club, and that is The Widows of Malabar Hill. This is a mystery set in the 1920s India. That's all I know about it. I don't read a lot of mysteries, but I'm hoping that will only be a benefit to me because I won't know all the tropes. Yeah, it's kind of a thicker book. It's like 400 some pages. So we're doing that because we have continental challenge. So we read a book from every continent in that book club every other month. So going to India. A book I should read for Hugo's is Shroud by Adrian Tchaikovsky. I should knock that out. So I think I'm going to tentatively read that one in June and read Death of the Author in July. But I only have 2 novels left for Hugo's. I feel very on top of my Hugo's this year. The only thing I haven't really touched are novellas. And I'm still going to punt that for later. I don't know what Shroud's about. I'm pretty sure it's a standalone and looks like it's a little more thriller based in tone and plot. Like there's this planet and it shouldn't have life, but maybe there is life, and like some humans accidentally are going to crash land on it and they shouldn't. I think that's the plot. I really don't know. I was tentatively intrigued by it when I last looked at the synopsis, and of all the more recent Tchaikovsky releases, this one was cool. I was annoyed it wasn't in the packet though. Like, I don't know. I mean, it could be his publisher said he couldn't, but like I feel like most of the time publishers don't mind. Regardless, it's easy for me to get because the Cleveland library system is the best library system. I also spun my wheel of like, you have all of these books, like all of these arcs that you just have around. And I'm generally good at getting to a bunch of them every so often. Like when I went back to the wheel, I was able to delete a bunch of stuff. But when I spun it, it came up with Nevo because I have the sequel novella Nevo wrote for The Chosen and the Beautiful. But what that means is I need to read The Chosen and the Beautiful, which I haven't. So that is now here because it's just, I've never read it. So I just got it out from the library and I'm going to read it. And then what I'm doing just for myself, just my own enjoyment, my own joy, is Labyrinth's Heart by M.A. Carrick. Because I've been rereading that series this year. And like, yes, could I get to The Isle of Leviathan, which comes out in July? Sure. But I kind of want to finish this trilogy first and then dive into that because I just have been having such a good time. I just saw one of my friends finish reading Liar's Knot and give it 5 stars. And it's just like, yeah, this series is so freaking good. So yeah, I want to get to my audiobook of Labyrinth's Heart. That's one I've only read once before. And I read it at a really sad point in my life. I still loved it, but I'm excited to read it at a more calm, happy point in my life. So those are the things for sure. A stretch goal, a true, honest-to-God stretch goal, is I would love to read a Lois McMaster Bejeweled. So I would love to read The Hallowed Hunt. Would love to. I don't know if it's in the cards, but I would love to, because I think the second half of this year, I want to read the Pendrick and Desdemona books. Like, I think I've been collecting the bind-ups, and I think it's time. But I want to finish The World of the Five Guards, like, main 3 novels first. So yeah, that's this short, sweet TBR. I'm generally excited about most things. Oh, I guess I should say another one that could happen because it's so short and I just bought it is Silver in the Wood by Emily Tesh. I found this in the wild, and so I think about it, it's only 105 pages, so it could happen. What are you planning to read in June? And if you just want to leave an emoji to let me know you're here, leave a snowflake for the red winter. And otherwise, like if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.